Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah Colvin, coming to you from the greenhouse at Mosswood Cemetery in Kituit. Joining me today are Dan St. Pierre, the foreman of cemeteries, and Joe Marshall, the grounds section foreman. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Thank you
Sarah.
so much for inviting me into this beautiful space and looking over all these beautiful flowers and plants. And this is where the majority of the plantings for the town come from. So tell me a little bit about what happens in this greenhouse.
Like you had said, we plant and grow all the annuals for the parks, and we start out with plugs and cuttings, which are really small. They come in, we buy in about 4,800 annual plugs and cuttings, and we pot them up here ourselves. We grow them on. The greenhouse is a 17 by 40?
Yep, 17 by 40.
17 by 40, fully automated. It's got an irrigation system. It's heated for early spring growing, and yeah, we have. I have two guys that come in and pretty much do all of the production.
Great. And so tell me a little bit about how you decide what plants and flowers to grow. Is it just kind of on a whim, or is there a plan? Is there things that you do every year? Is it what's popular that year?
No, it's definitely not a whim. Everything is very highly calculated. You have to buy the plants that are going to go into the certain areas that are going to be make themselves acclimated for those areas that you're growing in. We use tried and true and proven perennials and annuals that we use every year, and we experiment sometimes with new things and see how they work, and we've had some really good success with that also.
Yeah, you know, the hard or the trying part is most of these plants we buy or we put our name on in September of the following year, of the previous year.
Right.
So I'll have my order ready by November for 2016.
Wow.
So you have to really think in advance, and sometimes things change, plant availability will change,
Yep.
and so you have to substitute.
You even have crop failure sometimes, and they can't ship you what you ordered, so then you have to.
Yeah. So it's a well thought out process. It's not just, you know, you go in on April 1st and go buy your plants.
Right,
Exactly.
yeah,
You have that plan all set in place. So talk to me a little bit about what it takes to kind of maintain all of the parks. I know just because obviously we're based at Town Hall, I come in and out of the building all the time, and it always looks fantastic, and things change a little bit with the seasons, and it always seems really seamless to go from one season to the other. So how much, I mean, for something like Town Hall, we'll say, how much turnover is there in the garden beds that are out there?
There's a Town Hall and the SAB and a few other parks. We'll do a three planting, 3 arrangements. We'll have our early spring arrangement of pansies. We'll go into our summer arrangement, which we're doing currently right now, and then we'll go into our fall arrangement of mums and kale. And so, like I said, the front of Town Hall, the entrance, and the entrance of the SAB building, we'll go through those 3 changes.
Great.
Also in the fall, we also are ordering, right now, we're ordering our bulbs for the fall. And that's another part of the program, is doing our fall plantings of daffodils and tulips and that such a thing around the town.
Great, and there's some beautiful tulips on the village green too. So do you have a number of how many parks and open areas that you take care of, that you maintain with planting? I know I'm putting you on the spot for hard numbers, but if you can estimate.
It's something like 20.
Wow.
22. In 22 facilities. The SAB has 2 plantings. It's got the front side, it's got the village green side. So, one location might have multiple beds. Bismore has two beds as well. Mm-hmm. So there's not just one bed, one location. Yeah.
Great. So 4,800 annuals come out of here, 650 mums, 280 ornamental kale. That is a lot of plants. And talk to me a little bit about kind of like the day-to-day operation of this greenhouse. I would imagine that things move around quite a lot in here. I know we were talking about setting up this interview and saying, well, if we were here a week later, everything would be gone. So how much turnover is this? And are we looking at a moderately full greenhouse right now?
Yes.
Yeah, just moderately at this point. Yeah,
we're peak. This is
around April. There's nothing in here at all. There's nothing in here. We get our shipments of our plugs around the beginning of beginning of April.
Beginning of April.
End of March, there's nothing in here at all, and that's when we start our production. And by the end of April, beginning of May, this place is just busting with plants, absolutely busting.
Yeah.
We're in here making sure that they're getting fed correctly, making sure that the irrigation is working properly, and
the heat's coming on,
and making sure all that's working up to par. And then by the end of beginning of July, this place is probably going to be completely empty. We'll have everything planted out, but then he's growing mums,
which we're currently starting to pot up as we speak.
So what does it take to grow a mum?
A mum, well, like I said, we get them in June, about mid-June, early June in this case, but we'll be plugging them up. They'll grow in here until July, maybe a month in here, and then they'll all go outside. And then they'll just be field grown in this case. And, we fertilize, just like the annuals, they all have their own regimen of fertilization. These here in the greenhouse with the overhead system is on a constant feed, whereas the mums, they get a regimented feeding. They're on a different program than our annuals are. And like Dan said, if we were to get all our annuals on at once, all 6,000 annuals, we would not be able to do it. So they come in waves too. So we'll get our first wave of like 2,000 in first April, and a week or two later we'll get another 2,000. A week or two later we'll get another 2,000. So
great.
Just because we're just staffing wise, we can't do that. Can't put out that many plants.
Right.
How important is it, or talk to me a little bit, I know that there has been kind of a movement really across the Cape and almost nationwide looking at organic fertilizer in organic ways and more environmentally friendly fertilizing. Can you talk to me a little bit about how that plays into the growing process here and the way you take care of the land?
Yeah.
Well, all of our fertilizing is done with a product called Neptune's Harvest, which is a OMRI approved, that's the basic watchdog of organics label, OMRI. And we use that in all of our plantings. We also use some granular organics also, and all of the grounds themselves for the fertilizing of all of the turf areas. That's all done with organic and lime also.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
The soil the medium that we use, it's soil less. The medium that we use is an OMRI approved, OMRI standing for Organic Materials Research Institute. The soil less medium that we use is OMRI approved. It's inoculated with mycorrhizae, which is a beneficial fungi, and so even our soil is organic in nature, organically based.
Have you found a difference in the way the plants grow when you're using the soil-less or organic medium as opposed to the more traditional ways of doing so, or is it pretty much the same across the board? Is there more of a challenge?
I think you get a much better product. Better product, yeah.
Yeah, our plants are really healthy. Little inputs other than some fertilizer. We don't do a whole lot of we can't spray anyways, but we don't do any spraying, even organics. We really don't have very many problems. All the beds are they're rototilled, and we use composted cow manures and composted poultry manures. Sustain is another one that we'll use in the bed. So yeah, it's just a constant slow release feeding rather than going by the traditional
synthetics.
Right. Yeah. Well, good. That's good to hear. Do you have a favorite plant or planting or area of town that you like to work in, if you had to pick one?
It's hard to say because every year it changes. One year I like the Couture Gardens here, which are one of the larger areas that we'll do. It really looks good, and I change things up so it's something new, and this year I'm doing something a little different on the town hall green side where I can't wait to see what it looks like, so as I change plants, sometimes I'm more interested in how one does versus one that I know is already tried and true. It's already proved that it's worked well. So
great. And Dan, do you have a favorite spot?
Well, one of the places that we have to make looking pristine for the Memorial Day Parade is over in Centerville, Beechwood Cemetery.
Looked absolutely beautiful, I have to say, on Memorial Day.
Oh, thank
you did
you.
a wonderful job.
Thank you. We do the bedding, bedding plants in front of the Civil War Memorial there, and then in front of the Beechwood Rock, and that place I keep a little extra.
Yeah.
Time
Well,
with,
it
yes.
definitely shows. It definitely shows. Well, guys, thank
you.
you so much for inviting us down here to the greenhouse. A nice work out there, and I can't wait to see all these plants pop up around town.
Yes, excellent.
That's right.
Thank you.
You so much. From
Thank
the
you.
Mosswood Greenhouse, Joe Marshall and Dan St. Pierre from DPW.